So in this video, we will be picking up where we left off in Gray by E.L. James, the stories that are in Christian Gray's point of view. I'm excited for the holidays. I hope everybody else is. I'm wearing my holiday shirt, naughty but nice. So yeah, hopefully everybody has happy holidays. My videos, I'm hoping to kind of get out daily, but it might be a little bit slower. I know I missed Monday, and I may miss Tuesday today, but I'm going to do my best to get a bunch read, so I'll probably be in the same shirt. Yeah. So, without further ado, Gray by E.L. James. We'll be picking up on Chapter 2. Chapter 2. Saturday, May 14th, 2011. Anastasia Rose Steele. Date of birth, September 10th, 1989, Montesano, Washington. Address, 1114 Southwest Green Street, Apartment 7, Haven Heights, Vancouver, Washington, 98888. Mobile number, 360-959-4352. Social Security number, 987-65-4320. Bank, Wells Fargo Bank. Account balance, $683.16. Occupation, undergraduate student at WSU, Vancouver College of Arts and Sciences. She's an English major. She got a 4.0 GPA. Prior education was Montesano Junior Senior High School. Her SAT score is 2150. She's employed at Clayton's hardware store at part-time. Her father is Franklin A. Lambert, deceased. Her mother is Carla Mae Wilkes Adams, with a whole bunch of married and widowed, married, divorced, married, divorced. Political affiliations, none. Religious affiliations, none. Sexual orientation, not known. Relationships, none indicated at present. So that was the background check that Christian Gray had done on Miss Anastasia Steele. So sorry for all that data load on you guys. And now, going on. I pore over the executive summary for the 100th time since I received it 2 days ago, looking for some insight into the enigmatic Miss Anastasia Rose Steele. I cannot get the damned woman out of my mind, and it's seriously beginning to piss me off. This past week, during practically dull meetings, I found myself replaying the interview in my head, her fumbling fingers on the recorder, the way she tucked her hair behind her ear, the lip-biting. Yes, the lip-biting gets me every time. And now here I am, parked outside Clayton's, a mom-and-pop hardware store on the outskirts of Portland where she works. You're a fool, Gray. Why are you here? I knew it would lead to this, all week. I knew I'd have to see her again. I'd known it since she uttered my name in the elevator. I'd tried to resist. I've waited 5 days, 5 tedious days to see if I'd forget about her. And I don't do waiting. I hate waiting. For anything. I've never pursued a woman before. The women I've had understood what I expected of them. My fear now is that Miss Steele is just too young, and that she won't be interested in what I have to offer. Will she? Will she even make a good submissive? I shake my head, so here I am, an ass, sitting in a suburban parking lot in a dreary part of Portland. Her background check has produced nothing remarkable, except the last fact, which has been at the forefront of my mind. It's the reason I'm here. Why no boyfriend, Miss Steele? Sexual orientation unknown? Perhaps she's gay. I snort, thinking that unlikely. I recall the questions she asked during the interview, her acute embarrassment, the way her skin flushed a pale rose. I've been suffering from those lascivious thoughts since I met her. I think I said that right. That's why you're here. I'm itching to see her again. Those blue eyes have haunted me even in my dreams. I haven't mentioned her to Flynn, and I'm glad because I'm now behaving like a stalker. Perhaps I should let him know. No, I don't want him hounding me about this latest solution-based therapy shit. I just need a distraction, and right now, the only distraction I want is the one working as a sales clerk in a hardware store. You've come all this way. Let's see if little Miss Steele is as appealing as you remember. Showtime, Gray. A bell chimes a flat electronic note as I walk into the store. It's much bigger than it looks from the outside, and although it's almost lunchtime, the place is quiet for a Saturday. There are aisles and aisles of the usual junk you'd expect. I'd forgotten the possibilities that a hardware store could present to someone like me. I mainly shop online for my needs, but while I'm here, maybe I'll stock up on a few items. Velcro, split rings, yeah. I'll find the delectable Miss Steele and have some fun. It takes me all of 3 seconds to spot her. She's hunched over the counter, staring intently at a computer screen and picking at her lunch, a bagel. Absent-mindedly, she wipes a crumb from the corner of her lips and into her mouth and sucks on her finger. My cock twitches in response. What am I, 14? My body's reaction is irritating. Maybe this will stop if I fed her, fucking flog her. And not necessarily in that order. Yeah, that's what I need. She is thoroughly absorbed by her task, and it gives me an opportunity to study her. Salacious thoughts aside, she's attractive. Seriously attractive. I've remembered her well. She looks up and freezes. It's as unnerving as the first time I met her. She pins me with a discerning stare, shocked, I think, and I don't know if this is a good response or a bad response. Miss Steele, what a pleasant surprise. Mr. Gray, she says, breathy and flustered. Ah, good response. I was in the area. I need to stock up on a few things. It's a pleasure to see you again. A real pleasure. She's dressed in a tight t-shirt and jeans, not the shapeless shit she was wearing earlier this week. She's all long legs, narrow waist, and perfect tits. Her lips are still parted in surprise, and I have to resist the urge to tip her chin up and close her mouth. I've flown from Seattle just to see you, and the way you look right now, it was really worth the journey. Anna. My name's Anna. What can I help you with, Mr. Gray? She takes a deep breath, squares her shoulders like she did in the interview, and gives me a fake smile that I'm sure she reserves for customers. Game on, Miss Steele. There are a few items I need. To start with, I'd like some cable ties. My request catches her off guard. She looks stunned. Oh, this is going to be fun. You'd be amazed what I can do with a few cable ties, baby. We stock various lengths. Shall I show you? She says, finding her voice. Please, lead the way. She steps out from behind the counter and gestures toward one of the aisles. She's wearing Chucks. Idly, I wonder what she'd look like in skyscraper heels. Louis Vuittons. Nothing but Louis Vuittons. They're with the electrical goods, aisle 8. Her voice wavers and she blushes. She is affected by me. Hope blooms in my chest. She's not gay then. I smirk. After you. I hold my hand out for her to lead the way. Letting her walk ahead gives me the space and time to admire her fantastic ass. Her long, thick ponytail keeps time like a metronome to the gentle sway of her hips. She really is the whole package, sweet, polite, and beautiful, and with all the physical attributes I value in a submissive. But the million-dollar question is, could she be a submissive? She probably knows nothing of the lifestyle, my lifestyle, but I very much want to introduce her to it. You're getting way ahead of yourself on this deal, Gray. Are you in Portland on business? She asks, interrupting my thoughts. Her voice is high. She's feigning disinterest. It makes me want to laugh. Women rarely make me laugh. I was visiting the WSU farming division. It's based in Vancouver, I lie. Actually, I'm here to see you, Miss Steele. Her face falls and I feel like a shit. I'm currently funding some research there in crop rotation and soil science. That, at least, is true. All part of the Feed the World plan? She arches a brow, amused. Something like that, I mutter. Is she laughing at me? Oh, I'd love to put a stop to that if she is. But how to start? Maybe with dinner, rather than the usual interview. Now, that would be novel, taking a prospect out to dinner. We arrive at the cable ties, which are arranged in an assortment of lengths and colors. Absent-mindedly, my fingers trace over the packets. I could just ask her out for dinner. Like, on a date? Would she accept? When I glance at her, she's examining her knotted fingers. She can't look at me. This is promising. I select the longer ties. They are more flexible, after all, as they can accommodate 2 ankles and 2 wrists at once. These will do. Is there anything else? She says quickly. Either she's being super attentive or she wants to get me out of the store. I don't know which. I'd like some masking tape. Are you redecorating? No, not redecorating. Oh, if you only knew. This way, she says. Masking tape is in the decorating aisle. Come on, Gray, you don't have much time. Engage her in some conversation. Have you worked here long? Of course, I already know the answer. Unlike some people, I do my research. For some reason, she's embarrassed. Christ, this girl is shy. I don't have a hope in hell. She turns quickly and walks down the aisle toward the section labeled decorating. I follow her eagerly, like a puppy. 4 years, she mumbles, as we reach the masking tape. She bends down and grasps 2 rolls, each a different width. I'll take that one. The wider tape is much more effective as a gag. As she passes it to me, the tips of our fingers touch briefly. It resonates in my groin. Damn. She pales. Anything else? Her face is soft and husky. Christ, I'm having the same effect on her that she has on me, maybe. Some rope, I think. This way. She scoots up the aisle, giving me another chance to appreciate her fine ass. What sort were you after? We have synthetic and natural fiber, natural filament rope, twine, cable cord. Shit, stop. I groan inwardly, trying to chase away the image of her suspended from the ceiling in my playroom. I'll take 5 yards of the natural filament rope, please. It's coarser and chafes more if you struggle against it. My rope of choice. A tremor runs through her fingers, but she measures out 5 yards like a pro. Pulling a utility knife from her right pocket, she cuts the rope in one swift gesture, coils it neatly, and ties it off with a slip knot. Impressive. Were you a Girl Scout? Organized group activities aren't really my thing, Mr. Gray. What is your thing, Anastasia? Her pupils dilate as I stare. Yes. Books, she answers. What kind of books? Oh, the usual. The classics, British literature, mainly. British literature. The Brontes and Austens, I bet. All those romantic hearts and flowers types. That's not good. Anything else you need? I don't know. What else would you recommend? I want to see her reaction. For a do-it-yourselfer? She asks, surprised. I want to hoot with laughter. Oh, baby, DIY is not my thing. I nod, stifling my mirth. Her eyes flick down my body and I tense. She's checking me out. Coveralls, she blurts out. It's the most unexpected thing I've heard her say since the "are you gay" question. You wouldn't want to ruin your clothing. She gestures to my jeans. I can't resist. I could always take them off. She flushes, beet red, and stares down. I put her out of her misery. I'll take some coveralls. Heaven forbid I should ruin any clothing. Without a word, she turns and walks briskly up the aisle, and I follow in her enticing wake. Do you need anything else? She says, sounding breathless as she hands me a pair of blue coveralls. She's mortified, eyes still cast down. Christ, she does things to me. How's the article coming along? I ask, in the hope she might relax a little. She looks up and gives me a brief relieved smile. Finally. I'm not writing it, Catherine is. Miss Kavanaugh. My roommate. She's the writer. She's very happy with it. She's the editor of the newspaper, and she was devastated that she couldn't do the interview in person. It's the longest sentence she's uttered since we first met, and she's talking about someone else, not herself. Interesting. Before I can comment, she adds, her only concern is that she doesn't have any original photographs of you. The tenacious Miss Kavanaugh wants photographs. Publicity stills, hey? I can do that. It will allow me to spend time with the delectable Miss Steele. What sort of photographs does she want? She gazes at me for a moment, then shakes her head, perplexed, not knowing what to say. Well, I'm around. Tomorrow, perhaps. I can stay at Portland, work from a hotel, at a room at the Heathman, perhaps. I'll need Taylor to come down, bring my laptop and some clothes. Or Elliot, unless he's screwing around, which is his usual MO over the weekend. You'd be willing to do a photo shoot? She cannot contain her surprise. I give her a brief nod. Yeah, I want to spend more time with you. Steady, Gray. Kay will be delighted if we can find a photographer. She smiles, and her face lights up like a cloudless dawn. She's breathtaking. Let me know about tomorrow. I pull my wallet from my jeans, my card. It has my cell number on it. You'll need to call before 10 in the morning, and if she doesn't, I'll head on back to Seattle and forget about this stupid venture. The thought depresses me. Okay, she continues to grin. Anna! We both turn as a young man dressed in casual designer gear appears at the far end of the aisle. His eyes are all over Miss Anastasia Steele. Who the hell is this prick? Excuse me for a moment, Mr. Gray. She walks toward him, and the asshole engulfs her in a gorilla-like hug. My blood runs cold. It's a primal response. Get your fucking paws off her. I fist my hands and am only slightly mollified when she doesn't return his hug. They fall into a whispered conversation. Maybe Welch's facts were wrong. Maybe this guy's her boyfriend. He looks the right age, and he can't take his greedy little eyes off her. He holds her for a moment at arm's length, examining her, then stands with his arm resting on her shoulder. It seems like a casual gesture, but I know he's staking a claim and telling me to back off. She seems embarrassed, shifting from foot to foot. Shit, I should go. I've overplayed my hand. She's with this guy. Then she says something else to him and moves out of his reach, touching his arm, not his hand, shrugging him off. It's clear they aren't close. Good. Paul, this is Christian Gray. Mr. Gray, this is Paul Clayton. His brother owns this place. She gives me an odd look that I don't understand and continues. I've known Paul ever since I've worked here, though we don't see each other that often. He's back from Princeton, where he's studying business administration. She's babbling, giving me a long explanation and telling me they're not together, I think. The boss's brother, not a boyfriend. I'm relieved, but the extent of the relief I feel is unexpected, and it makes me frown. This woman has really gotten under my skin. Mr. Clayton, my tone is deliberately clipped. Mr. Gray. His handshake is limp, like his hair. Asshole. Wait up. Not the Christian Gray of Gray Enterprises Holdings? Yeah, that's me, you prick. In a heartbeat, I watch him morph from territorial to obsequious. Wow, is there anything I can get you? Anastasia has it covered, Mr. Clayton. She's been very attentive. Now fuck off. Cool, he gushes, all white teeth and deferential. Catch you later, Anna. Sure, Paul, she says, and he ambles off to the back of the store. I watch him disappear. Anything else, Mr. Gray? Just these items, I mutter. Shit, I'm out of time, and I still don't know if I'm going to see her again. I have to know whether there's a hope in hell she might consider what I have in mind. How can I ask her? Am I ready to take on a submissive who knows nothing? She's going to need substantial training. Closing my eyes, I imagine the interesting possibilities this presents. Getting there is going to be half the fun. Will she even be up for this, or do I have it all wrong? She walks back to the cashier's counter and rings up my purchases, all the while keeping her eyes on the register. Look at me, damn it. I want to see her face again and gauge what she's thinking. Finally, she raises her head. That'll be $43, please. Is that all? Would you like a bag? She asks as I pass her my Amex. Please, Anastasia. Her name, a beautiful name for a beautiful girl, flows smoothly over my tongue. She packs the items briskly. This is it. I have to go. You'll call me if you want me to do the photo shoot. She nods as she hands back my charge card. Good, until tomorrow, perhaps. I can't just leave. I have to let her know I'm interested. Oh, and Anastasia, I'm glad Miss Kavanagh couldn't do the interview. She looks surprised and flattered. This is good. I sling the bag over my shoulder and exit the store. Yes, against my better judgment, I want her. Now I have to wait. Fucking wait. Again. Utilizing willpower that would make Elena proud. I keep my eyes ahead as I take my cell out of my pocket and climb into the rental car. I'm deliberately not looking back at her. I'm not. My eyes flick to the rearview mirror where I can see the shop door, but all I see is the quaint storefront. She's not in the window, staring out at me. It's disappointing. I press 1 on speed dial and Taylor answers before the phone has a chance to ring. Mr. Gray, he says. Make reservations at the Heathman. I'm staying in Portland this weekend. And can you bring down the SUV, my computer, and the paperwork beneath it, and a change or two of clothes? Yes, sir. And Charlie Tango? Have Joe move her to PDX. Will do, sir. I'll be with you in about 3.5 hours. I hang up and start the car, so I have a few hours in Portland while I wait to see if this girl's interested in me. What to do? Time for a hike, I think. Maybe I can walk this strange hunger out of my system. It's been 5 hours with no phone call from the delectable Miss Steele. What the hell was I thinking? I watch the street from the window of my suite at the Heathman. I loathe waiting. I always have. The weather, now cloudy, held for my hike through Forest Park, but the walk has done nothing to cure my agitation. I'm annoyed at her for not phoning, but mostly I'm angry with myself. I'm a fool for being here. What a waste of time it's been chasing this woman. When have I ever chased a woman? Gray, get a grip. Sighing, I check my phone once again in the hope that I've just missed her call, but there's nothing. At least Taylor has arrived, and now I have all my shit. I have Barney's report on his department's graphene tests to read, and I can work in peace. Peace? I haven't known peace since Miss Steele fell into my office. When I glance up, dusk has shrouded my suite in gray shadows. The prospect of a night alone again is depressing. While I contemplate what to do, my phone vibrates against the polished wood of the desk, and an unknown but vaguely familiar number with a Washington area code flashes on the screen. Suddenly, my heart is pumping as if I've run 10 miles. Is it her? I answer. Mr. Gray, it's Anastasia Steele. My face erupts in a shit-eating grin. Well, well, a breathy, nervous, soft-spoken Miss Steele. My evening is looking up. Miss Steele, how nice to hear from you. I hear her breath hitch, and the sound travels directly to my groin. Great, I'm affecting her, like she's affecting me. We'd like to go ahead with the photo shoot for the article tomorrow, if that's okay. Where would be convenient for you, sir? In my room, just you, me, and the cable ties. I'm staying at the Heathman in Portland. Shall we say 9:30 tomorrow morning? Okay, we'll see you there, she gushes, unable to hide the relief and delight in her voice. I look forward to it, Miss Steele. I hang up before she senses my excitement and how pleased I am. Leaning back in my chair, I gaze at the darkening skyline and run both my hands through my hair. How the hell am I going to close this deal? Okay, that was the end of chapter 2. We're going to keep going, I think. Let's see. Yeah, we're going to read chapter 3. Sunday, May 15th, 2011. With Moby blasting in my ears, I run down Southwest Salmon Street toward the Willamette River. It's 6:30 in the morning, and I'm trying to clear my head. Last night I dreamed of her, blue eyes, breathy voice, her sentences ending with "sir," as she knelt before me. Since I've met her, my dreams have been a welcome change from the occasional nightmare. I wonder what Flynn would make of that. The thought is disconcerting, so I ignore it and concentrate on pushing my body to its limits along the bank of the Willamette. As my feet pound the walkway, sunshine breaks through the clouds, and it gives me hope. 2 hours later, as I jog back to the hotel, I pass a coffee shop. Maybe I should take her for coffee. Like a date? Well, no, not a date. I laugh at the ridiculous thought. Just a chat, an interview of sorts. Then I can find out a little more about this enigmatic woman and if she's interested, or if I'm on a wild goose chase. I'm alone in the elevator as I stretch out. Finishing my stretches in my hotel suite, I'm centered and calm for the first time since I arrived in Portland. Breakfast has been delivered and I'm famished. It's not a feeling I tolerate, ever. Sitting down to breakfast in my sweats, I decide to eat before I shower. There's a brisk knock on the door. I open it and Taylor stands on the threshold. Good morning, Mr. Gray. Morning. They ready for me? Yes, sir. They're set up in room 601. I'll be right down. I close the door and tuck my shirt into my gray pants. My hair is wet from my shower, but I don't give a shit. One glance at the louche fucker in the mirror, and I exit to follow Taylor to the elevator. Room 601 is crowded with people, lights, and camera boxes, but I spot her immediately. She's standing to the side. Her hair is loose, a lush, glossy mane that falls beneath her breasts. She's wearing tight jeans and chucks with a short-sleeved navy jacket and a white t-shirt beneath. Are jeans and chucks her signature look? While not very convenient, they do flatter her shapely legs. Her eyes, disarming as ever, widen as I approach. Miss Steele, we meet again. She takes my extended hand, and for a moment I want to squeeze hers and raise it to my lips. Don't be absurd, Gray. She turns her delicious pink and waves in the direction of her friend, who is standing too close, waiting for my attention. Mr. Gray, this is Catherine Kavanaugh, she says. With reluctance I release her and turn to the persistent Miss Kavanaugh. She's tall, striking, and well-groomed, like her father, but she has her mother's eyes, and I have her to thank for my introduction to the delightful Miss Steele. That thought makes me feel a little more benevolent toward her. The tenacious Miss Kavanaugh, how do you do? I trust you're feeling better? Anastasia said you were unwell last week. I'm fine, thank you, Mr. Gray. She has a firm, confident handshake, and I doubt she's ever faced a day of hardship in her privileged life. I wonder why these women are friends. They have nothing in common. "Thank you for taking the time to do this," Catherine says. "It's a pleasure," I reply, and glance at Anastasia, who rewards me with her telltale flush. Her telltale flush. Is it just me who makes her blush? The thought pleases me. "This is Jose Rodriguez, our photographer," Anastasia says, and her face lights up as she introduces him. Shit, is this the boyfriend? Rodriguez blooms under Anna's sweet smile. Are they fucking? "Mr. Gray," Rodriguez gives me a dark look as we shake hands. It's a warning. He's telling me to back off. He likes her. He likes her a lot. Well, game on, kid. "Mr. Rodriguez, where would you like me?" My tone is a challenge, and he hears it, but Catherine intervenes and waves me toward a chair. Ah, she likes to be in charge. The thought amuses me as I sit. Another young man who appears to be working with Rodriguez switches on the lights, and momentarily I'm blinded. Hell. As the glare recedes, I search out the lovely Miss Steele. She's standing at the back of the room, observing the proceedings. Does she always shy away like this? Maybe that's why she and Kavanaugh are friends. She's content to be in the background and let Catherine take center stage. A natural submissive. The photographer appears professional enough and absorbed in the job he's been assigned to do. I regard Miss Steele as she watches both of us. Our eyes meet. Hers are honest and innocent, and for a moment I reconsider my plan. But then she bites her lip and my breath catches in my throat. Back down, Anastasia. I will her to stop staring, as if she can hear me. She's the first to look away. Good girl. Catherine asks me to stand as Rodriguez continues to take snaps. Then we're done, and this is my chance. "Thank you again, Mr. Gray." Catherine surges forward and shakes my hand, followed by the photographer, who regards me with ill-concealed disapproval. His antagonism makes me smile. Oh, man, you have no idea. "I look forward to reading the article, Miss Kavanaugh," I say, giving her a brief, polite nod. It's Anna I want to talk to. "Will you walk with me, Miss Steele?" I ask when I reach her by the door. "Sure," she says with surprise. "Seize the day, Gray." I mutter some platitude to those still in the room and usher her out the door, wanting to put some distance between her and Rodriguez. In the corridor, she stands fiddling with her hair, then her fingers, as Taylor follows me out. "I'll call you, Taylor," I say, and when he's almost out of earshot, I ask Anna to join me for coffee, my breath held for her response. Her long lashes flicker over her eyes. "I have to drive everyone home," she says with dismay. "Taylor," I call after him, making her jump. I must make her nervous, and I don't know if this is good or bad. And she can't stop fidgeting. Thinking about all the ways I could make her stop is distracting. "Are they based at the university?" She nods, and I ask Taylor to take her friends home. "There. Now, can you join me for coffee?" Mr. Gray, this really..." She stops. Shit, it's a no. I'm going to lose this deal. She looks directly at me, eyes bright. "Look, Taylor doesn't have to drive them home. I'll swap vehicles with Kate. Look, Taylor doesn't have to drive them home. I'll swap vehicles with Kate if you give me a moment." My relief is tangible, and I grin. I have a date. Opening the door, I let her back into the room as Taylor conceals his puzzled look. "Can you grab my jacket, Taylor?" "Certainly, sir." He turns on his heel, his lips twitching as he heads up the corridor. I watch him with narrowed eyes as he disappears into the elevator, while I lean against the wall and wait for Miss Steele. What the hell am I going to say to her? "How would you like to be my submissive?" No. Steady, Gray. Let's take this stage one at a time. Taylor is back within a couple of minutes holding my jacket. "Will that be all, sir?" "Yes, thanks." He gives it to me and leaves me standing like an idiot in the corridor. Excuse me, I'm not sure where that came from. I better not be getting sick. That would suck. How long is Anastasia going to be? I check my watch. She must be negotiating her car swap with Catherine. Or she's talking to Rodriguez, explaining that she's just going for coffee to placate me and keep me sweet for the article. My thoughts darken. Maybe she's kissing him goodbye. Damn. She emerges a moment later, and I'm pleased. She doesn't look like she's just been kissed. "Okay," she says with resolve. "Let's do coffee." But her reddening cheeks somewhat undermine her effort to look confident. "After you, Miss Steele." I conceal my delight as she falls into step ahead of me. As I catch up with her, my curiosity is piqued about her relationship with Catherine, specifically her compatibility. I ask her how long they've known each other. Since our freshman year, she's a good friend. Her voice is full of warmth. Anna is clearly devoted. She came all the way to Seattle to interview me when Catherine was ill, and I find myself hoping that Miss Kavanaugh treats her with the same loyalty and respect. At the elevators, I press the call button and almost immediately the doors open. A couple in a passionate embrace spring apart, embarrassed to be caught. Ignoring them, we step into the elevator, but I catch Anastasia's impish smile. As we travel to the first floor, the atmosphere is thick with unfulfilled desire, and I don't know if it's emanating from the couple behind us or from me. Yes, I want her. Will she want what I have to offer? I'm relieved when the doors open again and I take her hand, which is cool and not clammy as expected. Perhaps I don't affect her as much as I'd like. The thought is disheartening. In our wake, we hear embarrassed giggling from the couple. What is it about elevators? I mutter. And I have to admit there's something wholesome and naive about their giggling that's totally charming. Miss Steele seems that innocent, just like them, and as we walk into the street, I question my motives again. She's too young, she's too inexperienced, but damn, I like the feel of her hand in mine. In the coffee shop, I direct her to find a table and ask what she wants to drink. She stutters through her order. English breakfast tea, hot water, bag on the side. That's a new one to me. No coffee? I'm not keen on coffee. Okay, bag out tea, sugar? No thanks, she says, staring down at her fingers. Anything to eat? No thank you. She shakes her head and tosses her hair over her shoulder, highlighting glints of auburn. I have to wait in line while the two matronly women behind the counter exchange inane pleasantries with all their customers. It's frustrating and keeping me from my objective, Anastasia. Hi, handsome. What can I get you? The older woman asks with a twinkle in her eye. It's just a pretty face, sweetheart. I'll have a coffee with steamed milk, English breakfast tea, tea bag on the side, and a blueberry muffin. Anastasia might change her mind and eat. You visiting Portland? Yes. The weekend? Yes. The weather sure has picked up today. Yes. I hope you get out and to enjoy some sunshine. Please stop talking to me and hurry the fuck up. Yes, I hiss through my teeth and glance over at Anna, who quickly looks away. She's watching me. Is she checking me out? A bubble of hope swells in my chest. There you go. The woman winks and places the drinks on my tray. Pay at the register, honey, and you have a nice day now. I manage a cordial response. Thank you. At the table, Anastasia is staring at her fingers, reflecting on heaven knows what. Me? Penny for your thoughts? I ask. She jumps and turns red as I set out her tea and my coffee. She sits mute and mortified. Why? Does she really not want to be here? Your thoughts? I ask again, and she fidgets with the tea bag. This is my favorite tea, she says, and I revise my mental note that it's Twinings English breakfast tea she likes. I watch her dunk the tea bag in the teapot. It's an elaborate and messy spectacle. She fishes it out almost immediately and places the used tea bag on her saucer. My mouth is twitching with my amusement. As she tells me she likes her tea weak and black, for a moment I think she's describing what she likes in a man. Get a grip, Gray. She's talking about tea. Enough of this preamble. It's time for some due diligence in this deal. Is he your boyfriend? Her brows knit together, forming a small V above her nose. Who? This is a good response. The photographer, Jose Rodriguez. She laughs. At me. At me. And I don't know if it's from relief or if she thinks I'm funny. It's annoying. I can't get her measure. Does she like me or not? She tells me he's just a friend. Oh, sweetheart, he wants to be more than a friend. Why did you think he was my boyfriend? She asks. The way you smiled at him, and he at you. You have no idea, do you? The boy's smitten. He's more like family, she says. Okay, so the lust is one-sided, and for a moment I wonder if she realizes how lovely she is. She eyes the blueberry muffin as I peel back the paper, and for a moment I imagine her on her knees beside me as I feed her a morsel at a time. The thought is diverting and arousing. Do you want some? I ask. She shakes her head. No thanks. Her voice is hesitant, and she stares once more at her hands. Why is she so jittery? Maybe because of me. And the boy I met yesterday at the store, he's not your boyfriend? No, Paul's just a friend. I told you yesterday. She frowns again as if she's confused and crosses her arms in defense. She doesn't like being asked about these boys. I remember how uncomfortable she seemed when the kid at the store put his arm around her, staking his claim. "Why do you ask?" she adds. "You seem nervous around men." Her eyes widen. They really are beautiful, the color of the ocean at Cabo, the bluest of blue seas. "I should take her there." "What? Where did that come from?" "I find you intimidating," she says, and looks down, fidgeting once more with her fingers. On the one hand, she's so submissive, but on the other, she's challenging. "You should find me intimidating." Yeah, she should. There aren't many people brave enough to tell me that I intimidate them. She's honest, and I tell her so. But when she averts her eyes, I don't know what she's thinking. It's frustrating. Does she like me, or is she tolerating this meeting to keep Kavanaugh's interview on track? Which is it? "You're a mystery, Miss Steele." "There's nothing mysterious about me." "I think you're very self-contained." "Like any good submissive, except when you blush, of course, which is often. I just wish I knew what you were blushing about." There. That will goad her into a response. Popping a small piece of the blueberry muffin into my mouth, I await her reply. "Do you always make such personal observations?" "That's not that personal, is it?" "I hadn't realized I was. Have I offended you?" "No." "Good." "But you're very high-handed." "I'm used to getting my own way, Anastasia, in all things." "I don't doubt it," she mutters, and then wants to know why I haven't asked her to call me by my first name. What? And I remember her leaving my office in the elevator, and how my name sounded coming out of her smart mouth. Has she seen through me? Is she deliberately antagonizing me? I tell her that no one calls me Christian except my family. I don't even know if it's my real name. Don't go there, Gray. I change the subject. I want to know about her. Are you an only child? Her eyelashes flutter several times before she answers that she is. Tell me about your parents. She rolls her eyes, and I have to fight the compulsion to scold her. My mom lives in Georgia with her new husband Bob. My stepdad lives in Montesano. Of course, I know all this from Welch's background check, but it's important to hear it from her. Her lips soften with a fond smile when she mentions her stepdad. Your father? I ask. My father died when I was a baby. For a moment, I'm catapulted into my nightmares, looking at a prostrate body on the grimy floor. I'm sorry, I mutter. I don't remember him, she says, dragging me back to the now. Her expression is clear and bright, and I know that Raymond Steele has been a good father to this girl. Her mother's relationship with her, on the other hand, that remains to be seen. And your mother remarried? Her laugh is bitter. You could say that. But she doesn't elaborate. She's one of the few women I've met who can sit in silence, which is great, but not what I want at the moment. You're not giving much away, are you? Neither are you, she parries. Oh, Miss Steele, game on. And it's with great pleasure and a smirk that I remind her that she's interviewed me already. I can recollect some quite probing questions. Yes, you asked me if I was gay. My statement has the desired effect, and she's embarrassed. She starts babbling about herself, and a few details hit home. Her mother is an incurable romantic. I suppose someone on her fourth marriage is embracing hope over experience. Is she like her mother? I can't bring myself to ask her. If she says she is, then I have no hope. And I don't want this interview to end. I'm enjoying myself too much. I ask about her stepfather, and she confirms my hunch. It's obvious she loves him. Her face is luminous when she talks about him. His job, he's a carpenter. His hobbies, he likes European soccer and fishing. She preferred to live with him when her mom married the third time. Interesting. She straightens her shoulders. Tell me about your parents, she demands, in an attempt to divert the conversation from her family. I don't like talking about mine, so I give her the bare details. My dad's a lawyer, my mom is a pediatrician, they live in Seattle. What do your siblings do? She wants to go there. I give her the short answer that Elliot works in construction and Mia is at cooking school in Paris. She listens rapt. I hear Paris is lovely, she says with a dreamy expression. It's beautiful. Have you been? I have never left mainland USA. The cadence in her voice falls, tinged with regret. I could take her there. Would you like to go? First Cabo, now Paris? Get a grip, Gray. To Paris? Of course, but it's England that I'd really like to visit. Her face brightens with excitement. Miss Steele wants to travel. But why England? I ask her. It's the home of Shakespeare, Austen, the Bronte sisters, Thomas Hardy. I'd like to see the places that inspired those people to write such wonderful books. It's obvious this is her first love. Books. She said as much in Clayton's yesterday. That means I'm competing with Darcy, Rochester, and Angel Clare, impossible romantic heroes. Here's the proof I needed. She's an incurable romantic like her mother, and this isn't going to work. To add insult to injury, she looks at her watch. She's done. I've blown the steel. I'd better go. I have to study, she says. I offer to walk her back to her friend's car, which means I'll have to walk back to the hotel. I'll have to walk back to the hotel to make my case. But should I? Thank you for the tea, Mr. Gray, she says. You're welcome, Anastasia. It's my pleasure. As I say the words, I realize that the last 20 minutes have been enjoyable. Giving her my most dazzling smile, guaranteed to disarm, I offer her my hand. Come, I say. She takes my hand, and as we walk back to the Heathman, I can't shake how agreeable her hand feels in mine. Maybe this could work. Do you always wear jeans? I ask. Mostly, she says, and it's 2 strikes against her. Incurable romantic who only wears jeans. I like my women in skirts. I like them accessible. Do you have a girlfriend? She asks out of the blue, and it's the 3rd strike. I'm out of this fledgling deal. She wants romance, and I can't offer her that. No, Anastasia. I don't do the girlfriend thing. Stricken with a frown, she turns abruptly and stumbles onto the road. Shit, Anna! I shout, tugging her toward me to stop her from falling in the path of an idiot cyclist who's flying the wrong way up the street. All of a sudden, she's in my arms, clutching my biceps, staring up at me. Her eyes are startled, and for the first time I notice a darker ring of blue circling her irises. They're beautiful, more beautiful this close. Her pupils dilate, and I know I could fall into her gaze and never return. She takes a deep breath. Are you okay? My voice sounds alien and distant, and I realize she's touching me, and I don't care. My fingers caress her cheek. Her skin is soft and smooth, and as I brush my thumb against her lower lip, my breath catches in my throat. Her body is pressed against mine, and the feel of her breasts and her heat through my shirt is arousing. She has a fresh, wholesome fragrance that reminds me of my grandfather's apple orchard. Closing my eyes, I inhale, committing her scent to memory. When I open them, she's still staring at me, entreating me, begging me, her eyes on my mouth. Shit, she wants me to kiss her. And I want to, just once. Her lips are parted, ready, waiting. Her mouth felt welcoming beneath my thumb. No, don't do this, Gray. She's not the girl for you. She wants hearts and flowers, and you don't do that shit. I close my eyes to blot her out and fight the temptation, and when I open them again, my decision is made. Anastasia, I whisper, you should steer clear of me. I'm not the man for you. The little V forms between her brows, and I think she stopped breathing. Breathe, Anastasia. Breathe. I have to let her go before I do something stupid, but I'm surprised at my reluctance. I want to hold her for a moment longer. I'm going to stand you up and let you go. I step back and she releases her hold on me, yet, weirdly, I don't feel any relief. I slide my hands to her shoulders to ensure she can stand. Her expression clouds with humiliation. She's mortified by my rebuff. Hell, I didn't mean to hurt you. I've got this, she says, disappointment ringing in her clipped tone. She's formal and distant, but she doesn't move out of my hold. Thank you, she adds. For what? For saving me. And I want to tell her that I'm saving her from me, that it's a noble gesture, but that's not what she wants to hear. That idiot was riding the wrong way. I'm glad I was here. I shudder to think what could have happened to you. Now it's me that's babbling, and I still can't let her go. I offer to sit with her in the hotel, knowing it's a ploy to prolong my time with her, and only then do I release her. She shakes her head, her back ramrod stiff, and wraps her arms around herself in a protective gesture. A moment later she bolts across the street, and I have to hurry to keep up with her. When we reach the hotel, she turns and faces me once more, composed. Thanks for the tea and doing the photo shoot. She regards me dispassionately, and regret flares in my gut. Anastasia, I can't think what to say except that I'm sorry. What, Christian? She snaps. Whoa. She's mad at me, pouring all the contempt she can into each syllable of my name. It's novel, and she's leaving, and I don't want her to go. Good luck with your exams. Her eyes flash with hurt and indignation. Thanks, she mutters, disdain in her tone. Goodbye, Mr. Gray. She turns away and strides up the street toward the underground garage. I watch her go, hoping that she'll give me a second look, but she doesn't. She disappears into the building, leaving in her wake a trace of regret, the memory of her beautiful blue eyes and the scent of an apple orchard in the fall. Alright, so that was the end of Chapter 3. We will pick up on Chapter 4 in the next video. I hope you're enjoying it so far. It's gonna get spicy later. Alright, until next time, Reading by Ree. Bye.